Hey guys, Aaron with Integrity Canine Trainers. Today we've got Hank, our puppy, and Cash, our old man, and we're out in Lowe's as we're wrapping up their training sessions. Cash here is older and has just been kind of scared of things his whole life. So a lot of what we've been doing with him is getting him as desensitized as we can to public spaces and noises. So Lowe's and other places like that are great for that. And he's done so much better. Like today, as we're walking around, it'll be fun to see how he does compared to whenever he first came into the program. He's still skittish and still on guard quite a bit, but believe it or not, what you're going to see today is a more relaxed dog than what he has been before. Hank is just a great little pup, about 10 months old, I believe. And you can see he's liking that cold floor, but he's hitting all the benchmarks. He's doing everything really well. Still has some of that puppy distractibility with him, but all in all, very pleased with where he's at, and I think he's going to continue to become just a great dog. Now, in store today, we're going to be hitting a lot of the basics like loose leash heel. We'll do place, put him into a sit while we're in public or in amongst people, that kind of stuff, and then we'll do a little bit of off leash with Hank. I'll do a drag leash with Cash here, just because he's still at that point where if a big cart comes rolling by, I just want to make sure that I can keep him next to me. So that'll be just kind of a little extra precaution. And then as we continue to work with these dogs, and when I meet up with the owners tomorrow, we're going to be doing a lot of off-leash, a lot of open field recall, which is really fun for these dogs. They love to get out and run, and it's going to be great for them living next to a little playa lake to get out and run and come back. And so the recall is on point. Even Cash here, when there's some things that are distracting them, man, they really have responded very well to the e-collars. Now, with the e-collars, it's kind of funny, Cash here is at a 5. I've got Hank at a 10. And when there's a high distraction, Hank will actually go up quite a bit, as will Cash, but not quite as much. I expect those numbers over the course of time to drop considerably. They already have for me, but just some things to note: that same dog breed, different life stages, but to get their attention back to me takes a little bit more in certain cases, which is normal. Especially for working dogs. If he gets on a scent, it's a little harder to get him back and focused, or harder to give him that tap on the shoulder to get him to turn around. But once he feels it, he does great to come back, and loves people. Both these dogs do really good around people. Had him at the church with me today around all our staff, and they just settled in so beautifully compared to day one. So follow us along, and we'll kind of do some coaching along the way, and see how they do. So here we go. So leading out in loose leash heel, I've got one on the left, one on the right, simply because it's easier for me to maneuver that way and keep their e-collars straight as to which one goes to which. So you're going to see me loop my hand through here, and then I'm going to take just a little bite of the leash, so I have a little bit of a loose leash heel, and that's going to give me that little bit of a boundary. So as we continue through, you see that boundary. Whenever that leash gets a little bit of tension, they'll get a stimulation. I'll start with that before I correct them, and we'll go, hey, leave it. Come on. Atta boy. So how are you today?
No, I'm just watching.
Oh, all right. These dogs attract a crowd, and so I had to visit with some people. But what we're going to do is put them in sit before we lead out into loose leash heel, and we'll be using the e-collar as our primary mode of keeping our boundary, and then we'll use the leash as our secondary mode. So with that, we'll let this cart go by. Hank, you ready? Huh? You ready? Here we go. I know it. Come on, heel.
All right, you go left or right?
We'll go left first. Come on, heel. Good. boy. Good dogs. Good dogs. Good sit. Good sit. Good. Yeah, good. So we're going to do a little duration sit here and may get some distance. Remember, with sit down in place, we're going to do distance, duration, distractions. So I'm going to let him hang out here. You'll notice Hank goes into a down pretty easily. He's super calm when it comes to this kind of commotion. Hank would rather not. And so we've, while he knows the command in public like this, we want to make sure that that he at least holds his place or his space where he's at. So in public, going down for him is a challenge because of his nerves. So we're just kind of letting it be today. Something that as he gets more comfortable, as the owners work with him, I think that we'll see a big difference there. So good boys, good sit. Good. Let me see ya. All right, you ready? Hank, here. Come on, Cash. Heel. Heel. Cash, with me. Cash, heel. Hank, good. All right, so a cool thing about this is, if you'll remember from previous videos, this same spot was used and all of this plastic was really throwing Cash for a loop. Really didn't like it, wasn't a fan, and so we've worked on it a couple times since then, so we've gotten a lot better. Just shows that that he has the ability to improve. So something that the owners will be able to continue that process with our coaching. So put them up on place. What we're looking for in place is anything that preferably is elevated, though it doesn't have to be, and has clearly defined boundaries. And obviously can support their weight. So what this helps with is that in the home, I can tell them to go to place. They'll hold place. You can come on through. You're fine. You're fine. Yeah, no, you're good. And you're good. Sit. Thank you. Sit. Good boy. So you can see how on edge he still is, but he still held it. So in the home, when we put him on place, when company comes over or when his nerves are getting the best of him, or we simply don't want them under the table begging for food or whatever, we can put them on place, remove them from the situation, and then we incorporate our 3Ds again: distance, duration, distractions. Of course, you saw a distraction come through there, and got some banging around happening back over there. Those unseen bangs, even a staple gun or a hammer, really have Cash on edge. But with this plastic blowing, I'm really honestly amazed that he's doing so good with that plastic, because that was his nemesis the first time that we came here. So to get him off of this, do two things. I can say come or break. When I do break, it's going to be the reward. I'm going to clap my hands. I'm going to cheer him on. I'm the cheerleader at this point. It's their paycheck. And so I'll get a little bit of distance. Then I'll come back. I'll close the gap, and we'll break them. Good boys. Good boys, good place. Good. Such a handsome pair. So right over here, we'll say break, break. Come here. There we go. Good dogs, good dogs. And that's Hank and Cash. They've got so much more potential. They've done so well. There's so many things that they can do that I wish we had time in this video to show you. But man, I'm very pleased with how they turned out and where we're at in the training, especially with Cash. He's overcome so much. Hank is just, man, I feel like we have just tipped the iceberg of what he's capable of. Super intelligent dog, very confident, and love where he's at. So as long as we can keep that up with the owners, man, they're going to have their best dog ever in him. And Cash has just improved so much. So couldn't ask for more. Check out the rest of their playlist and stay tuned.